What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 10
10.
of the Difficult to Please podcast.
Yeah, last episode of the
It's
season.
the season finale,
Oh, yeah.
but not the series finale.
Oh, hell no.
Nah, not this time.
No TV ratings can put us down. We still gonna put out more content.
So we are recording on December 2nd. The
Yeah.
Saturday after, the week after Thanksgiving, and now it's fucking December.
Right. Why'd you have to explain December like that?
Well, because it's like, I don't know when we release this. It's gonna get busy, man.
Oh, true. Yeah. We're gonna
It's
try
gonna
to
get
do the
like,
quick.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, do it before Christmas, like the tax cuts.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. This shit's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So this has been an interesting year for Erwin and I. We didn't think we were actually gonna do this project.
We were talking about this project this time last year.
Yeah, around this time, we're like, you want to do it? Yeah.
And then
It just ended like that.
kind of like
And then
kept rolling, and then we bought the website, and then we bought the equipment.
And we still didn't know what the fuck we were doing. We didn't know, like, all right, we're going to be podcasts, or we're going to try blogging. We tried blogging for, like...
Fuck it, we're just doing a podcast.
Yeah, we just do a podcast. We'll think about the writing portions later.
It's after, I think one of the first reflections after all this is that it's way easier to just talk about it than to write about it.
Right.
At least for the way I do it.
Right. But then, yeah, I guess. I mean, there's sometimes, like, there's stuff, like, I'm, like, thinking about when we do the podcast. I'm like, oh, I should write about this. Like,
Yeah,
there's things I'm forgetting.
There's definitely more things you can kind of, like, extrapolate and kind of, like, go into depth and kind of, like, really flesh out your thoughts.
Right.
But, like, we're just talking and we're just kicking it. Just kind of, like, da-da-da,
Yeah, which is the original
fast.
intention, yeah, because we talked about how it came to be in the first place is because when Erwin and I would talk, it would just go on. And so when we decided, like, oh, what if other people, like, why don't we just be vocal about this and record this?
Yeah, because our conversations went from, like, current events, then, like, yo, did you play this video game? You should play this video game. It's pretty dope. And then we talk about anime, and then we'll talk about movies. And then we'll go back to pop culture, and then go back to current events. And it's just like basically what this podcast is. It's just
Right.
a conversation between me and JV talking about all the random stuff that we do and think about.
Right. But you still didn't play my game, by the way.
I will say this. It is easy as fuck to play Call of Duty because it's so fucking mindless.
I need games with narratives, man. I can't play mindless games. That's why I played Overwatch for, like,
It's mindless.
a few months, and then I was like, I can't do this, man. I need content.
Yeah,
need
you need
story.
something that drives you and kind of like gives you purpose.
Right, that's why I like the Overwatch story. I think it's sick.
It's like World of Warcraft and like other, more or less like StarCraft and the other Blizzard titles, because like it's not always explicitly taking you to plot point A, plot point B. It's just
Right.
kind of like, here, use this character. This is a new,
This is your
is a new
hero.
character.
Blow shit up with it or heal your people.
Yeah, that's what it is. But I mean, shit, I don't even know what the fuck.
But that's
Oh my
like
God, we got.
that's how, or that's what being adult is now. It's so much different from back then. Like, because we have I guess free time now, right?
Yeah, but
Because we're not
even
always.
still, man.
I mean, we're still busy, but we have free time for video games. We still have free time to do podcasts and write about shit.
It's so funny though. Like I remember growing up, and I'm like, man, if I'm like 25 and I'm playing video games, I'm like, I gotta do something with my life. Now I'm like, it's not that bad.
Right, because we look at our parents and we look at older folks and we're like, why you keep playing video games? You should be working. But then I'm like thinking now, like,
Motherfucker, I work.
yeah, I am working. Like right now, I'm like, I currently work full time. But I still got time to do this stuff. I still play video games like 8 hours straight sometimes. Yeah, I'll sacrifice sleep, but hey, at least I still work.
People have their vices.
Right, people have devices.
It's like someone is like, for us, yeah, it's gonna be video games, but some other people, like, their vices watching Netflix and just like binge watching.
Watching that.
Yeah.
Or going to bars and clubs at 30
it's
plus.
It's the same thing. Everyone has a different type of vice. Same
Right.
shit, man. Same shit. It's just different presentation
Right.
or manifestation, even. Yeah.
Oh, manifestation.
That's true.
Big word.
But let's let's just sum up what we've done so far. I mean, this is we really every time we make a podcast, we're like, oh shit, we really did made it. We made it through another podcast. We made it through another month.
Right. 1 month. Even though originally we planned for like twice a month.
I think maybe in 2018. Let's think about that.
What about it?
Just do more.
Yeah, no, we could do more, but then
Yeah.
it was just funny in the way we planned it was like, all right, week off next week, do podcast, then week off.
Oh,
But then, like,
it gets so hard.
It gets hard because
it gets
we're
fucking hard, man.
because we are adults,
yes.
kind of. So this episode, we're really just gonna talk about like the big overall theme with this season's podcast, which is
I mean, it's just like it's kind of like how the end of the year you kind of like reflect. It's kind of like we're in that season to like, yeah, let's reflect. And since this is the series or season finale, it was just like let's think about like the whole everything and the whole season, and then talk about it, and then just like look forward to the next.
right. So the big overall theme
Let's
was being 30.
Yes, that's. I mean, that's
Because it's something we're being right now. Like we're just hitting 30. And I remember I asked someone who's almost hitting 40. I asked them, "So what do you like more? Do you like your 20s or you like your 30s more?" And her response was that even like when you're 20, you still feel like an 18-year-old. You're still trying to find yourself. You're still taking risks. You're still doing blah blah blah.
yeah.
But when you get closer to your 30, you're a little bit more grounded and you have like your foundation. You already know what works for you, what doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
And you're a lot smarter about it, I guess. You're not as crazy as as you were in your 20s, but like, your priorities change when you get older. And then from that branches off if you're booed up or not. Which is the different.
I mean,
We can talk about that next time, but yeah. So Erwin and I are just hitting our 30s, and we're thinking about it.
Shit,
like,
I'm about to be 31 in
You
a
about to
couple
be
days,
31,
man.
yeah.
Not a couple days, but a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Shit.
And I turned 31 in March.
Yeah.
So we're no longer in our 20s for sure, and
No
we've talked about
way,
it.
sir.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm looking forward to my 30s. I've heard a lot of good things about my 30s, and I'm not trying to have like a age crisis where I'm just like 30s is the new 20s, man. I'm like, nah.
No, I remember I had like a way more existential crisis about being in my 20s when I was like 20, 21.
What?
Yeah, I was kind of like for sure like in that like almost that quarter life crisis. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, like blah 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 blah. And just worried about like what happens after my degree, and I mean nothing is guaranteed, and that's just kind of like the just schooling in general.
Mhm.
And what we talked about in our podcast is that sometimes you approach, or at least I will speak for myself and say like I approach it like my job is school,
Right.
and let me just think about school while I work part-time somewhere else. And it's like I didn't know what was after. I didn't know what was after I walked on stage and got my degree. I'm like, shit, dude, I don't know.
hmm
So I was in the kind of like that haze for a while until I was like, oh, okay, I got this kind of figured out.
And my approach to life was a little bit different because during that time we started, when you were getting your degree, we were
Yeah.
just starting RD,
That's also true.
which was like I was more for it creatively because I wanted to see what was out there in the world.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to pursue like stuff that made me happy. I was just so curious. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to do art. I wanted to see things, spend money.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I work, because sadly money opens doors to other things for you.
That's capitalism. It's true.
But yeah, like so that was our two different approaches.
Right.
And you got involved with nonprofits.
Yeah, I got
and-
nonprofits, and then that's just kind of like where it's taking me now. And but it took me a long time, and that's
Right.
part of like what we're saying in the beginning of like our education is like sometimes you're not gonna know your path. You just
Right.
kind of fucking like sometimes you'll just fall into it or you'll stumble upon it.
Right. And I don't think any of us should ever feel pressured by it. Just because like me and Erwin, our generations compare ourselves to the previous generation, which was different post war.
But you know what's
the priorities are completely different.
yeah, like I remember watching Stranger Things, and I'm like, this is so weird. Like this, because that's the generation basically before us.
Right.
You have this like Stranger Things generation, like the people, those kids that were growing up, or the kids that are portrayed in Stranger Things. I'm like, dude, that's like, that's it. That's like our older brothers and
Mm-hmm.
that's older cousins, etc. It's just like it's almost different. It's like, what the fuck, you know? I'm like,
Right. 'Cause they didn't have smartphones, man.
you just
They
had
actually
you had
met up and did shit.
you
Go
met up on your
arcades.
bikes. You went and kicked it at the mall.
Right. Went to the arcade.
Yeah, and then you asked your big brother or your cousin for a ride.
Yeah, shit was dope.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and this
Yeah.
generation completely different, and I think all generations are gonna be completely different, and I think it's unfair to compare generations together because we're all going through different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I do.
our priorities are completely different
Yeah.
because what ours is like that, the blend between like technology and ours is a technology age, right? What did you
Yeah.
say? We're more
Yeah.
technology.
We're just more like adapt to a technology. We can kind of like, if you give us like an object with a touchscreen, we can kind of figure it out.
Right.
Like we can figure out how it works and the features of whatever it is.
Right. So, I was doing a little analysis about overall themes in each of our podcasts. And, it's kind of like a weird journey from 20s to now.
Oh hell yeah! And
Yeah. Like we figured out like
every episode was distinctly different.
right.
Like they were carrying themes. I think the last few ones, maybe 8 and 9.
No, we tried to force some themes. Yeah. Yeah.
And then we talked about Complex Con a lot.
I talked about Complex Con a lot. Which, by the way, the shit I waited in line for.
Tell me about it. Go, go, go. Tell everybody.
They're still on the Complex website being for
Boom.
They're for sale. My 7 hours there was nothing. All right, I'm done with talking about that. We ain't
Anyways,
gonna
going
talk about
back.
that.
Talking about the other episodes.
Right. So,
Yeah, go for it.
we were talking about, essentially we're still kids. Like we're like older kids now. Like you said, you still play video games. I still play video games
Yeah.
while working my full-time job.
Yeah. I mean, that's what.
And that's what passes our
That's
time.
what passes the time, really.
That passes our time until even. I mean, that might even be the thing when like we have kids or whatever, or families
Yeah.
and whatnot. That still might be the same shit.
Now,
Right?
Are you going to play Smash? Like, with your kids?
I'll play video games with my kids. That shit would be
But not
tight.
Smash. Fuck
Aw.
Smash.
No, I'll play
Yeah, I said
Smash.
it.
Whatever. No, Smash is sick. I'll play other fighting games
Jeff's
with
going
them.
to get mad. Our one listener.
Our one listener who doesn't listen. I'm just kidding. No, I mean, yeah, essentially we're all still kids. I mean, look, we're still involved with like shit that we like when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Like with street fashion. Like I'm still interested in like trying to do clothes one day. And I'm still interested in like anime and toys and like whatnot. Like I still haven't let go of that kid in me yet.
We know what. Okay, you know what's mad interesting though is that like how Star Wars always like reinvents itself for every generation, since it's
Mm-hmm.
like, after, was it Return of the Jedi in '83 or whenever it was.
And then 10 years later.
Yeah, and then it was like, well, nothing happened, right?
Right.
That was it. But then they did the reboots in '97, '98, and then they did the fucking the prequels. So every time it's like the same shit. Like, and what I'm trying to say is that like things that are happening are in our culture are going to keep happening. It's just a cycle.
Right.
Everything's gonna be reinvented because they know that shit works. Like Star Wars
Mhm.
knows that like it's the draw of Star Wars is gonna work for every generation.
But you think it's like kind of funny that if you think about Star Wars now, like it's still hit.
Yeah.
It's still hit. But then like I'm like looking at like kids now,
Yeah.
they're all for it. They're all for Star Wars. Like it's dope to know. But I'm just like thinking like, but isn't this kind of going against like what you guys are into now? Like dude, like if you think about it, Star Wars is kind of basically like old martial arts stories
Yeah,
and
but
whatnot.
it's like one of those things where
It works,
like the narrative, like the core narrative of what it is just like it.
but it's so
it
classic though.
Yeah, it just remains relevant. Just like I think that's what George Lucas was really good at. Like Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones to me is just kind of like just keeps. Even though it's old,
No,
I can
Crystal
still.
Skull didn't work.
Oh fuck! No, I'm saying the original. Ones.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I
They
can't
tried, obviously,
They tried.
but the
Couldn't.
old original Harrison Ford
Mm-hmm.
Indiana Jones, that shit was like
Sick.
it's still sick. I think.
Yeah, it's still sick. I still like it. And then was another big topic we are talking about. You know, again, this is just progression we go through when you're growing up. Is like budgeting, because when you're like a kid and you have money, you know what the fuck you're gonna do with it. It never becomes like investment plans or anything like that for you,
Because
and you don't learn about that shit.
Yeah, 'cause
no one teaches you.
No one teaches you a 401k is mad important.
I don't even have one yet.
Whoa, dude, Sharp should have one.
It's a separate thing. It's not an actual 401k. It's a different saver program, which I'm already involved with.
Oh, sure.
It builds. They take it from my paycheck. It means something, right?
But it's like this. It's like that same thing. It's like financial literacy. No one fucking teaches you that. So
No.
So it's just yes, and
You have to go broke to know
and all
that shit.
exactly. And budgeting, it's something that you might learn when you're young and you're kind of like, well, whatever. But
It
it's
depends
like,
on parenting, to be honest. Yeah, it
Shit.
depends on
Yeah.
parenting.
yeah.
Like if my parents told me like, nah, you can't get that unless you work. I'm like, but I guess I gotta do that shit. You make different choices, right?
yeah,
Kind of like taxes and whatnot.
different choices in life.
Right. I mean, if I had to go to KFC and kill chickens to eat, I'd probably stop going to KFC as much. I know that's super random, but just think about the broader.
Yeah, but that's like,
that, like,
I mean, like, yeah, yeah, but
wait, I totally completely why I forgot
I don't like
why
I was-
that has to do with budgeting.
I think you were saying how it's like when it comes to valuing your money
Right.
versus like because you're basically saying like if you went to KFC and butchered the chickens yourself, but you get like a massive discount, would you do it? Or if it was more expensive to butcher chickens to get your food, and more like laborious, would you do it?
No.
Exactly, it's the same shit. It's like knowing what the value of your money really is to you,
Right.
which is fine. I got it. I understood that.
Okay, cool.
I understood that. I got where
Cool.
you're going. It's like you have to like really
Sick. Had I get Erwin to explain what I was thinking.
emotional value compared to monetary value of what
Right.
your dollar is. There you
Right.
go.
Yeah. Budgeting. Sick.
It really is like for me living with my fiance. It's like yes, and we lived together for years, and it's like specifically when you start living alone or away from the parents, it's like that's when you kind of like for sure you have to figure out how to budget. How the fuck are you gonna take X amount of your paycheck just to pay rent, sustain yourself, make sure you eat, sleep right, blah blah blah, all that shit.
Mm-hmm. Because
It's
stuff
growing
keeps
up,
changing.
man.
Yeah.
It's growing up shit.
Things can't keep changing. You can't when you enter a program or whatever. Things are gonna change, so you have to
Yeah.
be adaptable to it, which includes your budgeting. That's why, like, taxes change and income changes, job changes, your hobbies change. Either it gets more expensive or it gets less. Like buying shoes, then realizing you have a kid, and then suddenly the priorities change a little bit, right?
Yeah.
No, it's funny because I talked about Raph about that. He actually told me like, I'm gonna stop buying so much shoes. I should start using my shoes. I'm like, the fuck? Like it was so sick. They were like, hell yeah, he's growing up. That shit's tight. But yeah, things change. Like it's just budgeting, and you got to be adaptable to the change.
Free shout out
Free
to
shout out
Raph
to-
and rockinit.com.
Oh yeah, Raph speaking it.
It's like rocking it and then
Oh.
dash it. It's like rockin-it.com.
Oh, well, you do his website, don't you?
Well,
Hmm.
I'm like a contributor, so I got to shout out.
Oh,
It's
that is
weird
sick.
because it's like I'm doing RD, but at like different phases. It's
I know. It's like,
it's
all right,
like
we're just gonna separate
we got
Raph
our
and
own
JV.
shit, and then it's like I help rap with his shit. So it's like
Interesting.
I was like, oh, this is different. Like
But somehow we can't like group up together and do this shit. I'm just kidding. I think we should just bring Raph on for a random episode just for
yeah.
nostalgic
No,
sake.
it's like what do you call it? When Child Rebel Soldier, how it never happened, but they'll do a song every now, like every 4 years.
Alright. Chad will be a vocalist in NERD every now and then.
just exactly every time like Pharrell does like a public appearance or like a public performance, like oh shit, is NERD gonna come?
Right.
Then bam, Shay comes. Bam, Chad comes, and then yep, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And just let's just relate that to our ongoing theme is that we do have to make time, making time for all like making time,
fucking time.
because there's time. There is definitely time. Like look at us, we could still play video games, we still can work 40-hour jobs, and we could still do our hobbies and whatnot. We can still kick it with one another.
Yeah,
Harder, yeah, but we can make the time for all that.
I was talking with Brandon and about one of our episodes, and I think it was it was one of the making time ones. What was that one? Like
I heard this. Okay.
yeah, filtering friendships one,
Right.
where we kind of like we said that when you put effort into anything, it's like it's gonna take something from you.
Right.
And he made it a point. It's like, well, yeah, that's the point. But it's like it'd be interesting if you got somebody else with that kind of have like a different point of view about that. Whereas like for someone who, like for example, like Rona, for someone who puts in the energy into friendships, like that's not sometimes draining. Sometimes that's like a way of kind of re-energizing because you get the air energy and you kind of like it's not a bad situation. It's just kind of like re-energizing, and you're kind of cool. This is like why I make connections to people, and so I was like, oh yeah, that's actually a good point. Like, yeah, going back and looking back on that episode, yeah, that's a valid point.
Yeah, it is valid. I agree.
Yeah,
but is it time? Whether it's building friendships or reaching out to people, it's still you can't maybe realistically you can't reach out to everybody you knew from high school, college, and whatnot. Like
that's still,
friendships come in seasons too.
Still, yeah,
and the ones that you are close to now are the ones you still reach out
what's
to.
What's the cheesy line? It's like friends are here. Sometimes friends are here for a reason. Sometimes friends are here for a season.
Is it?
Yeah.
But we all go through it, right? Like, I mean, that's part of growing up. You go through like seasonal friends, like oh,
that's
you
like
kick it with these group of friends. Then
it's like a Tyler the Creator song or something.
Is it really? Oh,
it's either that or Chance the Rapper.
Oh, well, whatever. It's true. It's realistic.
I'll put it right here. I'm making notes. Chance the Rapper beat right here.
Okay.
Stay around.
All right.
So it's growing up.
What you got?
Yeah, it's part of growing up, whatnot, and like I think. Oh shit! Lost my train of thought.
Okay. During the 10 episodes of this podcast and the year of process for Difficult to Please, do you feel you have grown, or how have you felt you've grown or not grown?
Now I feel like I grow every day, homie. Like I never feel.
No, through this podcast.
Through this podcast.
Like, do you feel you've grown? Just talking about because you hit 20, or I'm sorry, you hit 30
March
before we started the podcast. We talked about this idea before you hit 30. I was already 30.
Right. Oh hell yeah! I've definitely grown like throughout this podcast because I've thought about like I need to make time for this. Like it's one of the things I actually like super made time for.
Yeah.
I would like think about things externally more, like how the world around us kind of like shapes, like how does it play an influence on growing up. And I thought, because I knew myself internally, like I knew like this is what I had to do, this is what I like, this is what I keep doing. But with this podcast, I think I kind of wanted to see think outside of me more, which was because we the stuff we always talk about. It's always like how I feel, how you feel.
Yeah.
But it never talked about like, damn, there's other shit that's going on that's like hella affecting me.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Yeah. So it kind of opened my eyes a little bit more.
So you're saying
you?
like the current events you think affect you more now than they used to be?
Probably, yeah. I would say that. Well, also Trump became president, so it's actually been kind of interesting watching CBS News every day.
Shit, man. It's
so
every time. I swear I need to cut my alerts off, man. That shit's just stressful.
What?
Just like anything that happens with like our president, and it's just kind of like, what the fuck is this, man? What the fuck is happening? I feel like it's like every day there's something new. I feel like we talk about this all the fucking time. It's something new. It's something. Sometimes it shocks you. Sometimes it doesn't. And it's like either way, it's taking energy from me. Like I can't fucking like reconcile it. Like once I committed to reading the piece or whatever, it's like fuck, I'm done. Like this, I'm in a bad mood. Like I'm fucking pissed. But I mean, for this podcast, I mean, I feel like I've grown. Yeah.
How?
I just feel that talking about the issues out loud and kind of hearing my own kind of logic and my reasoning for like supporting it or having my thoughts added on to like whatever subject we have, it's like it's better to hear it talking with somebody, some you, and then it's like hearing my own self say it. It's like, oh shit, like maybe I didn't really think that through. Maybe I didn't fucking like. Maybe I need to really like strengthen my argument. Maybe I need to really think about the issues more or the topic more at the end of the day. So I mean, for me, it's like it's still a growing process, and I feel like I've fucking grown just doing this because we're just talking for like 45 minutes and about any like random subject. 'Cause we do this shit all the time anyway.
Right. Now we're doing it with a
I
purpose.
just thought we were gonna be more funnier.
See, I thought so too. I thought we were gonna be a lot funnier.
But I was like, oh shit.
I thought we were gonna be hella funny, but we weren't. We were super serious.
Like, oh shit, this is really serious. Like,
yeah, who are those two
Bodega Boys? Yeah, and
yeah. I thought we were gonna be like that.
I thought we were gonna be super funny, but we're not super funny.
No, because we're not roasting anybody. We should start roasting people in season 2. I'm just kidding.
This again.
No. Yeah, but I actually had the same thought. I thought we were gonna be like hella funny, doing like weird shit, like doing funny shit. People could be like, "Yo, heard your podcast. You guys are funny cats." Peace.
No, we're not.
Nah, we didn't get that at all.
So like the opposite of funny,
right? Which is weird.
Oh shit! It was like, because
I have weird shit to say all the time.
Yeah, you're known for this, and it's like I'm like surprised even through the edits. Like I try and make us sound funny, but I'm like sometimes we're just not funny, or the shit we talk about is not fun.
It isn't.
So I mean that's something to work on if that if it comes naturally to us,
right?
But it's weird sometimes. I feel like when we were talking about the podcast is that, oh shit, like we're laughing like most of the time anyways when we're just kicking it. Then it's like when we do the podcast, we're not funny.
All right, it's like we have something to say now. Like, all right, we gotta say this, we gotta say this, we gotta say this.
Yeah, and it's like it's part of like also I think like
growing
part
process.
of growing up too. It's like shit. Like I don't know if I should say these things.
Right, we actually had a lot.
Really fucking weird thing.
Yeah, we had some stuff we actually said, but we edited it out.
Yeah,
we definitely edited some stuff out.
It's either for time purposes, for clarity. Sometimes a lot of it is just like
so random.
It's random, and it's just like, why the fuck would we talk about this?
Right.
Like,
but that's our conversation.
Like we want to cut it down to where it's like digestible. It's like 45, 50. It's like just a fucking commute.
Right.
Or you're just listening to at work to your friends talk.
Hell yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yeah, for sure. And finally,
Complex Con. I'm just kidding.
But so let's just take the broader theme of that.
Yeah.
And that's just consumer culture. Like,
yeah.
Like, do we like it's just not to get so like wrapped up around it, really. It's not to get so, because that's what our society is currently. It's all about buying shit. It's all about new Samsungs, new iPhone X's, the latest shit
culture,
to do, watching Hollywood entertainment, Kardashians mainly.
Yeah, and I think that it trickles down.
It does. It definitely does.
I'm talking like just for like a random thought. Like I was thinking about the movies I watched this year, and all the majority of the movies, with like maybe the exception of stuff I saw at the Asian Film Festival, was the Marvel movies.
Same
I was like, are
here.
you fucking kidding me? Like, I used to like want to watch like the independent films or anything but the Marvel movies, but now I'm like, that's all I fucking paid for. I swear,
Right.
it's like Marvel movies or like
I used to be against those. I used to hate superhero stuff.
like Christopher, like anything that was in like the regular theaters, like regular like ArcLight, Regal,
Mm-hmm.
Angelica, to an extent,
Right.
But for the most part,
Angelica was
like I
dope.
like I haven't gone to like one of the independent cinemas to watch like indie film. I was like,
Like,
this folks, it's so weird for me. But anyways,
so why do you watch it now? I'm just curious.
why do I what?
Watch Marvel movies now. Not that saying it's bad. I'm just saying
I don't know. I think
because mindless.
it might be mindless, and it's like when I'm pot committed, I'm like, fuck, man, I already spent so much time watching all of the fucking like the narratives of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's like, just fucking watch it. Like it's the same shit with Netflix. It's out there. Just might as well watch it.
Interesting.
But I did like Christopher Nolan's shit. I already forgot.
Batman.
No, Dunkirk. There you go.
Oh fuck! I haven't seen it yet. I need to
Dunkirk
watch
was
it.
pretty
I
good.
need to watch it.
Yeah, if you, it's like Dunkirk, you had to kind of watch it in the movie theater to appreciate how like big the fucking shots and.
Oh god. See.
No,
Okay.
I mean a fucking elitist, but
I've heard about it. Yeah. No, I've heard
It's
it
like
from
oh shit, like because like
from a filmmaker's perspective. It's actually pretty dope.
like the dogfighting scenes, like the aerial dogfighting. But
Yeah, I hear a lot
with
of
the
good things about
airplanes, I'm
that.
like, oh shit! Like you hear all like the planes moving, and and it's like there's so much screen. It looks really good on screen.
Got it.
But anyways, consumer culture.
Right. You gotta prioritize that shit.
Yeah, and I think going back to Complex Con and before we started recording, we were saying how like, or I was saying, um, the people that went to Complex Con, like JV and other folks, like they felt some type of way about the culture. Like you went JV and you went to Complex Con because you felt tied to the culture. Like there's
That's
something,
what we grew up with.
yeah, there's something at this con, which was the driving force, but for a lot of people to see other folks that were also like a part of they felt a part about the culture, and that's like whether it's the uniform of the culture, which is like wearing Supreme, wearing Babe, etc.
Mhm.
Like all the name brand stuff associated with street and streetwear, and it's like, yo, it's like Comic Con. Like it's like you are there because you feel you belong.
Right.
But then it's like the grown up side, the millennial side. It's like check your headspace though. Like check your budget. Don't blow your budget unless you really plan on reselling everything. Come up
Mhm.
like 5Gs.
So you think, well, like, do you think that's a millennial thing though, to the whole resale thing? Because maybe it's just like kids just trying to hustle to make money instead of like working jobs. Like, what if it's these
Yeah.
gamer kids who like are still like into the street culture and are like, look, I don't work,
It's like
so I'll just
it's
buy
like
Supreme.
right now. I
And sell
think
it.
for anybody, and I think especially for millennials, it's like you have hella opportunities to not work a regular 9 to 5.
Right.
It's like you can have revenue streaming from your YouTube channel, your Twitch.
That's yeah, no.
You
it's
know,
crazy,
like
huh?
you can get hella money once you build your audience and do all the things associated with that, the new media marketing. But it's like but it's all about getting yourself putting the work in.
Right.
So, I mean, for the kids that are trying to resell and doing a thing, it's like, yeah, bigs out to them because they're going to flip it on eBay or flip it on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. But when you get older, like that's not gonna really cut in anymore. Do you think? Because
I mean,
like if everyone just wants to be a
unless-
streamer and reseller,
unless you're moving hella units, yeah.
but I feel like in the long run, like as you get older, that doesn't really sound so stable, right? Because I feel like that's everyone wants to be like noticed now. Like that's like these streamings, YouTube videos, and whatnot. Like a lot of people are trying to get into that game. There's YouTube stars, etc. and
It's
whatnot.
like, what if we just ditch the podcast and we do stream Twitch next year? We'll
No one gonna
interview
watch us play
people.
video games.
We'll interview people while playing Street Fighter, or we'll interview people while playing Dragon Ball. No, just
Oh.
kidding.
Nah,
No.
that's not gonna be us.
No, but yeah. I mean,
Because like
will it replace? I don't know.
no, because think
In
about
the
it.
long term.
Well, if everyone wants to just be a streamer, a viner,
Everyone is fucking useless then.
like yeah, like everyone wants to be like a big social thing, and like that's not what's gonna get you money. Like what's like
You sound like an old man.
I know, but I'm just saying though, like it's sick. It's sick if you do succeed. Like big up to you. But it's like, there's so many videos of
No, and
of StarCraft I can watch with commentary, or I'm just
I
like,
think I know.
huh.
Well, there's some people who are like pro gamers.
Right.
I mean, which
Which
feeds
is sick.
which feeds into like the people who are really into like pro StarCraft or
Right.
pro Overwatch or pro any video game league that's pro.
Right.
So it's like if you want to see the pros stream, that makes sense, right?
Yeah. Okay. That's
And if they want to
That's
use their
dope.
name to make money, just it's fine. But
okay.
if
I am
if there's
old
a
man.
if there's a nuclear holocaust, everyone's fucking useless.
Right. Like, oh shit, they're just gonna stream this shit.
There's nothing good. Like who? No one's gonna pay for anything.
Right. It's like, what do you go to school for? YouTube. Hell yeah, that's it. That shit's tight. Nah.
I think in the long term, I think the people who are making money off streaming, whether it is Twitch, whether it is YouTube, whatever it is, I think that might be the future. Because if you think about, even 10 years ago, would you be thinking that like NFL or any kind of video or any kind of live sporting event was being able to be streamed? Like I wouldn't think that. I thought it would have been fucking out of your fucking mind.
Right. Because I had to go home, sit down, turn on TV, and watch that shit.
Yeah, like
But now I can watch that shit anywhere and anytime.
like I can watch ESPN anywhere with a signal.
Right.
That shit, like if you think about it, 10 years ago on a what were we doing 10 years? Was it I had a blackjack I think 10 years ago.
You had blackjack?
No, the Samsung blackjack.
Oh.
Like before the touchscreen. I didn't have a touchscreen until
2007. Is that iPhone?
that's the first iPhone. That's the one Nick had. He was fucking flexing, remember?
Oh yeah, that's
Hey
right.
guys, I got a new iPhone.
Oh fuck, let me erase this. Let me listen to this shit.
No, he doesn't. No, but that's
does
what
flex,
I'll,
but-
I will bleep his name out.
Okay.
But he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna need an iPhone. Sup, King?" No, that's
Fuck flexers, man.
that's
Fuck your
literally-
wings
no,
and your nicks.
That's literally what happened. I remember. I'm like, "Cool, dude. Like you dropped 400 on the phone,
Right. Oh,
right?"
why?
But still, shit. I forgot why the fuck we brought this.
I felt like we ranted way too long on this.
On what part?
I don't know. I think we could have.
Oh, we talked about streaming. That's what happened.
Oh, that's what happened.
See?
Yeah, no, we could edit a lot of this out. Okay. What's streaming? Okay, let's go back to consumer culture and that.
Consumer culture.
Right. So we talked about we're talking about the future of streaming. Before I hit the headphones.
Okay,
Think you had a
so
good point.
yeah, and then you're talking about I said because I think it is the future because that's where I think the money's gonna be. If we're on the path, like I think if we're on the path, like we're in some Blade Runner shit,
Mhm.
yeah, I think that might be it. But it could also go in the shitty direction where we get it's the nuclear holocaust and everyone is fucking useless.
Right. Cuz
Because either way, think all the other jobs are gonna be fucking like.
we need supreme brands out there to fuel culture. We need BBCs. We need musicians.
Yeah,
and
and I-
sadly,
What I think Supreme and BBC, it's just kind of like the name brands of street culture.
right? Kind of
It's
like Louis
Louis
Vuitton,
yeah,
Burberry,
yeah,
Chanel.
all that shit. It's the same thing but different.
Because there are people who buy into
Same
it.
shit,
There are
dude.
people who buy into it, and there should be a market for that.
Yeah, and I think where streetwear is now, it's like at the upper end, it's almost
The new Louis
like
Vuitton
fashion
thing.
week shit,
Yeah. Didn't they
yeah.
have one in Paris?
Yeah, they did the
Yeah.
Supreme Louis Vuitton. That's why that's like the pinnacle of like the marriage between like street and high fashion.
Gosh, after you sent me those 2 articles on Supreme, I couldn't. Fuck you guys. Anyways.
Yeah.
But other than like getting involved with all this consumer culture and buying a bunch of shit and filling up your rooms of shoes and jackets and hoodies.
Because it's fucking Christmas.
It's Christmas too, but then also
This is like one of the first few years at least I haven't really got like an urge for something.
Same here.
I'm like, I don't really want anything.
Well, last year I bought myself a car, but
You know,
that's enough for a few years. I don't need this. I don't need a Christmas gift for myself for like the next 5 years. But also we talked about purging too, like kind of cleaning up my 20s. Yeah, because I don't need a bunch of that shit when I need it in my 20s. I don't need to flex on people anymore. Like I don't need iPhones. I like my
Your
Sony
fucking
phones.
Sony PSP to the face.
Yeah, I don't have that anymore, but I like mid-tier phones. They're sick. I don't need face recognition, no button home key thingy, Siri to help me navigate my life. Like I can't. Do you use Siri by any chance or any type of voice assist thing?
Um,
Because I still type my shit down.
do I use voice assist? Not necessarily. My Siri's fucked up. No, but you know, like voice assist does work because my boss uses voice assist instead of like he does like dictation versus typing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's actually if you think about it, it's a good way to not or not have but mitigate carpal tunnel.
Oh.
If you think about it, right?
Sure.
If you're just talking, you're like, what the author means, and you're just talking into a mic versus typing out what the author means. Da, 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 da.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
Okay, that's
if
good.
you think about it,
Yeah.
you could just sit up straight and then just say,
Hmm.
Anyways, we can add that out.
Yeah, we can edit that out
That's
for sure too.
Fucking lame.
But yeah, so when you get older, your priorities change, and like Erwin and I would talk about that. We've been doing the less is more kind of thing.
Oh, for sure. That's like what difficult to please is. That's why all the branding is the way it is.
Right.
All the posters are like that.
The less is more.
The less is more. Just
Yeah. Because we get. I'm basically trying to clean up my 20s. Like, what got my attention in my 20s. I'm like, fuck, I have too much shit in my house. And
true.
You know what I mean? And, you know, like, I think if I stop trying to get my, you know, even in life too, and that's what I mean, like, less is more, because the more shit you put in your life, the more you feel like stressed or.
That's very zen, yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I have to please, like, all my friends by telling them something or hang out with them
That's
or
like,
kick it with them or whatever. Like, granted, like, I still love all my friends.
It's
It's
like
just.
back to philosophy, bro.
Oh, okay.
Because you think about it, because remember, like, when we were really deep into philosophy, we're like, you have that, like, tier, not the tier, but, like, the pyramid of needs and shit like that, or it's like a curve or something, where, like, this is where you're, like, you're not happy, and then there's a point of, like, in the curve or the pyramid or whatever, it's like, this is where, like, you're the most happy. But adding more shit past the happiness is kind of like gonna make you less happy.
Oh, interesting.
Like I remember talking about. I think
it's a pyramid, but yeah.
I think it might have been like a bell curve.
Probably,
or something.
yeah. A bell curve is great.
I feel like we talked about it for sure, like in our 20s.
Right. So now that we're on the other side of the bell curve, we're trying to get back in the middle. Yeah, we're trying to go back.
We're trying to get happier, so we can be more funny on a podcast.
Hell yeah, we can be cool.
You can see there's a lot of dark topics. And I think our hidden episode was a little. It was
hella dark.
That was peak dark.
It was like not a good episode.
Dark.
I felt like horrible after
Well, good
that.
thing it was like technically like not good, because I'm like looking back, like yeah, that's a good one just to kind of like just leave that shit there because it's like hella dark.
Yeah, I'm actually glad too. Now that I think about it, I was like, oh, I don't want people to like, be like,
we tried salvaging episode 8 and we're like, oh shit, like this got really dark again.
Right, and we noticed they were like, oh fuck,
We're stretching ourselves for this one. We're kind of reaching up.
yeah, which is not our voice or difficult
Yeah,
to please.
this is fine. This is fine. Shit, we are fucking almost there, man. This is 46 minutes, and well,
we
at
can edit
least
some stuff out.
we can for
too.
sure edit some stuff out.
Yeah, there's a lot. This might be like 30 minutes or so.
So, I mean, let me think. Get my thoughts.
Final
Yeah.
thoughts, kind of. So after talking about our whole entire podcast, like, are you excited about your 30s? Are you looking forward to it?
I mean, for the most part,
I mean, we're gonna go through it.
You can't
Yeah.
go back.
You can't go back time.
You
We
can't go back, and I don't think I want to go back
Same here.
and like relive. I mean, shit. Like if it's a Groundhog Day, fuck him, I guess, right? Like, let's deal with it.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, thinking
I'll
about my
fucking
20s,
deal
I
with it,
feel
but I
like,
don't want
fuck,
to.
man, I don't want to go through all that
But I'm
again.
like, it's just like when I hit 30, and I think being 30 for this year, it's better to be kind of like for me wiser at the end
Grounded.
of this. Yeah, kind of like I know who I am.
Right.
I'm
Which
not-
I didn't know in my 20s.
yeah, like I didn't do as much soul searching as I did.
The last 5 years or
yeah,
something like that.
for sure. Like
Yeah.
I know who I am. I kind of like, I kind of was, I don't want to say resigned, but I kind of like understood that growing pains. I
Mhm.
thought that was like just like a saying we would say for like a phase for our 20s, but it's like growing pains is just fucking getting old.
Right. First, you thought you said growing pains. Like you're-
Growing, not
okay.
like physical pains, but like just shit that's like
Damn. Realizations and like,
you get passed over for a job promotion, or like
yeah, I know how that feels.
you know what I'm saying, like
Right.
things that bum you out or things that are just mad stressful. You think you're just gonna like move past it, but you just kind of like, no, this
I just hang in there.
This is just a part of growing up and just being an adult. Like this sucks. Like,
Then you understand politics.
or like
and
you'll miss like
work politics and shit like that.
work
It's
politics, or
crazy.
missing
people.
being late on rent and shit like that, man.
Yeah, that's actually, I learned a lot about that shit too in the last few years of my life. I'd be like, because people are like, they told me at work, like, oh, you're, so sociable back then and like really like into her stuff. And now like you don't like getting involved. I'm like, you guys fucked me over on my job a few times, but alright, whatever. I'm still here,
You
right?
fucking hired the new person,
You hired a new person.
and now that
over-
person doesn't want to work overnight.
No, I'm just like whatever. But I mean, it goes on even before that. Too,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
few other times, I'm just like, not that.
So, are you excited to be 30?
Hell yeah, I'm
31.
like you said,
31.
you know yourself more.
Yeah.
I know what I can do, what I can't do. Right? Like I can't be as reckless. I know I'm not as reckless anymore for sure. But I mean, like that's what I'm excited for. Like now that I have like this mentality, what I'm gonna do, how I can approach things responsibly, it's fun for me now because I don't have to fucking worry about like consequences as much.
But then, there's stuff that you wish you would continue that you left off in your 20s? Like, for example, your artwork, or your creativity.
That's the only thing I'm really depressed about. Yeah,
Is that the thing? Like,
Yeah.
something that you want to bring more back into your 30s?
I want to
and kind of
bring
like
more of it.
revisit that.
I do want to bring more of that for sure. Because that's who I
Yeah.
am naturally.
Yeah.
This is my only creative outlet right now, which is I'm happy for it.
Yeah.
Trust me, but I know I could do more.
Yeah.
Definitely. For
That's
sure.
more fun.
And now I'm just trying to find time for it for sure.
And not be broke. What's up?
And not be broke. Yeah, exactly. And not be broke. I'm not saying I'm like hella broke now. I'm just my money goes other places now, man.
That's what I'm saying. 2018, difficult to please. We're gonna fucking get sponsored ads by fucking random ass sponsors. Just do fucking podcasts every 2 weeks, and then we'll fucking get like Blue. You'll start saying, "Hey, this segment is sponsored by Blue Apron."
Blue Apron? What the hell's Blue Apron? I was
Blue
about to
Apron.
say Soylent. I'm just kidding.
Blue Apron is a subscription service to a meal every week. A meal is sent to your door every week with a recipe.
The fuck? That's a real thing?
It's a real thing. That's what-
Holy shit.
Dude, if you
people
listen,
are lazy
if
as
you
fuck.
think about the other podcasts, they're fucking like Blue Apron, There's some shit called Casper. It's a fucking mattress. Bombas socks. Squarespace is one of them. That's why.
Squarespace.
That's
is
why
sick.
Squares. That's why partially reason why Difficult to Please is on Squarespace.
Hell
so
yeah.
I could fucking leverage that once we get like hella more downloads.
Squarespace. Sponsored by.
See, we just have to fucking put in the work. That's all.
Hell yeah.
Anyways,
Hope you enjoyed season 1.
season 1. See you in season 2
Which is hopefully next year.
sometime next year.
Yeah, we'll try to be funnier.
We'll have guests.
We'll have guests for sure.
All right.
All right. Peace.
Peace.